Vanakkam, Namaste, and blessings to everyone. This is Dr. Bhairavi Balasubramaniam, PhD, the Sky Priestess. Today I'd like to talk to you about the upcoming square between Jupiter in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. Jupiter is going to be doing a whole lot more than just squaring Neptune. So pay attention. Let's go through it step by step. With Jupiter in Sagittarius, all of us have been experiencing this sense of expansion, more energy, more possibility. But that's also created a lot more dynamic currents in the world, which can be a good thing. But the issue with Jupiter in Sagittarius is that it has all this gumption to go and find what is its truth in the world, that it forgets compassion. It forgets to see that there are multiple truths and that each of those truths are valid to the people who believe in them. So Jupiter in Sagittarius in and of itself, whilst it can be a very dynamic and energizing, energy, alignment, it can be an energy that equally polarizes. And that is what we need to watch out for. The reason I say this is because Jupiter is going to be conjunct the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor is at 14 degrees Sagittarius, and it is a gravitational anomaly that is more powerful than the galactic center. The Great Attractor basically creates this push and pull, on and off relationship with truth. People with strong Great Attractor alignments, 14 degrees Sag, find people drawn to them or pushed away from them for reasons that have nothing to do with them. These individuals have a very interesting relationship with truth, and they are forced to crystallize their truth, often at the expense of other paths or other ways of seeing truth. What's going to be happening with Jupiter on the Great Attractor is that we are all going to be invited to crystallize or settle further into our particular brand of truth. But the catch is to remember that this partial truth that we hold on to, thinking that it is the absolute truth, is just one of many. And it takes all of these different truths to make up the oneness that we talk about in spirituality. So at a 3D level, it means that at this time we are all invited to get clearer about how we understand the world, the teachers we follow, the countries we choose to visit, the courses we choose to take, and the ways in which we and others make claims unto knowledge and unto truth. It is to remember that we are asked to get a lot clearer in ourselves, but to remember that our clarity should not come at the cost of others. We can be clear in what we believe, but that does not invalidate another person. So this is what we are asked to remember during this Jupiter and Great Attractor conjunction at 14 degrees Sagittarius. The opportunity of this energy, or rather the possibility of this energy, is to help us expand further beyond what we can imagine even possible. And we will see this over the next few years as we walk on the path that Jupiter and the Great Attractor pulls us towards. We will see ourselves going further and further and further onto the route that we choose. And so our conscious choice and our conscious discernment is absolutely paramount at this time. And for those of us in the spiritual field, it is very wise to remember that knowledge without compassion is dangerous. It is one of the golden rules of the spiritual path. And a lot of us forget this, especially with all the hype around Jupiter in Sag. It wants to know. It wants to feel like it knows. It wants to believe that it has mastered something. But in truth, these are just all partial fragments of a much greater universe. The Neptune square reminds us to keep this humility. It reminds us to go back to that space of compassion within, that space within at which we are connected truly and deeply to spirit and cosmos as we navigate these paths. This is a subtle but an extraordinarily powerful alignment because it tests us to remember. It gives us the invitation to say, all right, I can do this, but is this going to truly promote a greater benefit for myself and for all of humanity? Or is this something that's just going to feed my ego mind? These are the questions that we need to be asking. Neptune in Pisces basically asks us to look at the deeper truths that call to us, And these truths are not likely to be ones that we find in this 3.5D reality. These are truths that are coming from different realms, from different spaces, from our spirit guides, from our ancestors, from benevolent beings that work towards our highest and deepest good. And the challenge here is not only in listening to these external sources of wisdom that are really internal, but we just perceive it that way, but it is to discern and to know what is truly wisdom and what is illusion. Neptune, of course, rules both transcendence and clarity, and it also rules the quality of Maya, the ephemeral illusion. And that is also one of the challenges that we are going to be finding in navigating this energy. Sometimes when we are convinced of the crystal clarity of our truth, that's exactly when we need to do some soul searching and some digging. Have I reframed my conceptual paradigms to see what I want to see, to confirm my own biases? Am I willing to explore the possibilities that I may not be right, that I may indeed be wrong? This is the area in which we are asked to come forth with our greatest humility, with our wantingness, our willingness to see if all of this work and all of this effort leads us onto a path that brings us back to greater compassion for all or not. Sagittarius is a very different energy, my friends, as is Pisces. So this is the kind of energy that we are being asked to look at together in tandem. Now, the Jupiter-Sagittarius square isn't all gloom and doom. In fact, it can be deeply creative. It can be deeply rewarding, especially for teachers, for mystics, for visionaries, for people who flow with their intuition, who try to weave magic into the world, going past our usual constructs and ways of viewing reality. I'm struggling with the words today, not because I don't know the words, but because the energy is such. The energy of what we are experiencing is just so hard to encapsulate. So, bear with me. Now, what I would also say with the Jupiter-Neptune square is that it is wise to remember that Jupiter is also trining a body called Thereus. Thereus, as I have described before, is what I call the abuser. It's not even the abuser's asteroid, it's the creepy hunter-stalker asteroid. Thereus basically stalks us. It goes to our deepest selves and just sits there and lies waiting and hiding. In Leo, at 13 degrees Leo, Thereus looks at the patterns of predation that we have experienced in our lives, especially in our childhood or through our sexual experiences in the world. The part of ourself that yearns to come out, that yearns to play, but is afraid of being devoured, is afraid of being lost, is afraid of being fragmented, is afraid of being hurt. This is the part of yourself that's going to be very strongly triggered by this alignment. And the parts of yourself that have not yet realized how they may be playing into these patterns of predator and victim. Now, we tend to go through the cycle. Those who are victims now may have been predators before. Those who are predators now may have been victims before. So it is best to avoid knee-jerk judgments on the matter. Sometimes we are afraid of tapping into our own power and our own creative energy because we are afraid of becoming a predator again. Sometimes it is because we are afraid of becoming victimized again. And those are exactly the type of dynamics that Jupiter will be activating and funneling into its square with Neptune. So what I want to say is this. A lot is coming up, as it tends to, but this is a time for you to be really clear about what energies you allow and accept into your life. What karmic contracts that stipulate who plays what role, whether it's predator, whether it's victim, and how to get out of that particular lock. This is a time to move beyond what we at a conscious level think that we are, and to allow spirit and to allow new energy to help to reorient us out of these divisive, toxic binaries. But that doesn't mean that we shut our minds off. That doesn't mean that we shut our bodies off. That means that we feel even more. We go deeper into the vibration of what we are experiencing and we allow ourselves to process. This commitment to depth is even more intense today because today we have the Sun-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. If we are not willing to see the energy of what is hidden, of what is stuck, of what was violated or what did violate others, we are not going to make the shift in a smooth or in as smooth a way as possible. So be willing to see the truth that is hidden inside of you, so that you can work with these multiple bodies in the skies, so that you can find a different way to walk your truth without walking into that predator-victim binary, so that you can find ways to express your creativity without devouring others or without getting lost in the process, so that you can actually find ways to connect with spirit and align with it without sitting in the confines of what your ego mind thinks is possible for you to experience, who your ego mind thinks it is, what your ego mind says you have to be. These are all boxes. These are all narratives. These are all labels. And we have the opportunity to let go of them if we choose to find it. So effectively, stay away from judgments. Stay away from narratives that bind or lock you into a particular way of seeing the world, and allow spirit to move through you. When working with guides, ensure that these guides are working in your highest and deepest good. Work from a place of sovereignty. Honor your own free will and ask the universe to honor it in the way that you want it to. So this is a very large energy. I've done my best in describing what I can about it. And this energy will continue to be with us for the next few days. When in doubt, go inwards. Do not react. Do not give in to knee-jerk responses. Go deeper, 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 and find the truth of the matter before you decide anything one way or another. Remember that Jupiter will be meeting Neptune again as part of a square alignment again later this year. It's not going to go away anywhere. Just don't commit to anything right now unless you are absolutely sure of its energy and what walking that path will mean for you. Take care. Ciao, ciao. God bless. Bye.